Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Millie, and if you're my returning subscriber, hello guys, I appreciate you so much. Today's video is a video about being a nurse in Denmark, guys. Some of you are always asking me questions about how is it to be a nurse in Denmark, but I think today I'm going to talk about 10 things I love about being a nurse in Denmark. All right. The first thing is we have free uniforms. When I have watched some of the videos from the US, I see ladies say I think they have to buy their own uniforms. And sometimes I actually see them sitting in the car saying like I'm driving to work or I'm driving back home, and they're wearing their uniforms. And I always think of like the hygiene, you know, like are they working in these uniforms and then they're going home wearing these uniforms. So we have free uniform at work. You just show up at work, and then we have a big depot where you can go and find your size, your trousers, you have different t-shirts and different colors, you know. The only thing I think in America, I think because they pay for themselves, they have this beautiful, they have some of them that have really beautiful uniforms. Most of our uniforms here as a nurse, especially in the hospital, is plain white, and then sometimes like blue t-shirts, light blue t-shirts and things like that. But yes, we have free access to uniforms. Yes, and another thing, we have a paid lunch. Like they don't buy our lunch, but they have we have a break for lunch that is paid. We don't have to pay it for ourselves. And I think there was, I don't know if it was last year or something, when they wanted to remove that from us, and I think all the nurses protested, and then we said, all right, if we have to pay for our own lunch, especially in the hospital, we will go to the canteen, because most of us, we actually stay at the unit. You eat, while you're eating your lunch, the patient will call and you go, you help them with whatever they're doing, you come back to your lunch, and they can call several times. The same thing with dinner, they're calling like many times, so you're not actually sitting and having your dinner straight, you know. So your lunch break is always disturbed by patients calling. So the nurses were like, okay, if we have to pay for our own lunch, then we'll be going to the canteen and we can see who's going to take care of the patients. So another thing is like we are a member of a union, and well, not everybody is, but you can become a member of a union, and then this union can actually help you if you have problems at work, if you have problem with your boss. But I guess this is all over the world, guys. Let me know if it's not like that. But you have this, they can back you up if you get fired wrongly and stuff like that. But you are also a member of Danish Nursing Council. I think it's called DSR. I don't know like exactly what we get out of that. I think there have been so many talks about what we get out of that, but it was actually the one even last year when we were striking for such a long time in Denmark. I think there was one who were backing us up with this. So that's a good thing. Like I don't know, like for example, nurses in Uganda or nurses from Africa. If you are from Africa and you are on my YouTube, you're watching, let me know. Do you guys, are you a member of some kind of union that can help you and back you up? I don't know, I've never been a nurse in Uganda, I don't know. Let me know guys in the comments. Yes, and I think we are on number 4. We have a very well organized system in Denmark. I think Denmark is one of those countries which have a very good organized health system. Probably some people will disagree, but yes, we have a very well organized system, and I can not go deep in that. But for example, the hospitals are free, and there's so many offers for the patients when they are done at the hospital. For example, if the patient is not really ready to go home, there are some places where we can send them and they can be taken care of, so they are ready to go back home without they have to pay anything, which I always feel like I've seen videos from the US, like people, if they don't have money for these, they cannot go here, they don't have insurance. You see people that are being thrown out of the hospital. That would never happen here in Denmark. You know, when you have a patient and they are done with the treatment, but they're not really ready to come home, we send them. For example, this is why I'm working right now. I work in a rehabilitation place. Then we take these patients to us, and they stay there like almost 5 weeks. And actually, I've talked to a lot of Danish people who did not know like this kind of things exist. My boyfriend Jan here, he didn't know like these kind of things exist. It's a rehabilitating place where they can stay there for 5 weeks. If they want have lost weight, we give them food. We make sure they get on their feet again before we send them back home. So these kind of things. And maybe like if you have a patient and you think like this is a patient who has some heart problems, but we have nothing to do with the heart problems, it's always easy to like send them to another unit that has specialized in these things. So it's so organized very well. The hospitals are free. Like you know, it's easy to be a nurse to take care of the patients when you don't have to worry, oh my goodness, do I have to send this guy home and I don't even know where I'm sending home to. So in that way, it feels nice being a nurse, you know, like, and I don't think this exists like in Uganda, oh, especially in Uganda, I don't think that exists. So, but guys, if you're watching from the US and you're a nurse, let me know in the comments. And another thing, we are like working in modern environment with a lot of modern technology, you know, like when these days in Denmark they're building these they call them super sygehus. It's like super hospital. The giant hospitals, you know, like when you're in some of them, it's like you're in a small airport, and they're trying to make all the what do you call it, like specialization in this one big area. So these people, like, they're training, like they're doing the same thing over and over again, and they get like really better at it, instead of having these small hospitals here and there, and then this one doctor, maybe he operates on this one thing maybe only 2 times a year, and he's not gonna get better to this. But if they have this all collected in one big area, and these doctors are doing the same thing again and again, they are practicing and they're getting better. Like in one of the hospitals I was working, one of the small things that was so impressive, like if you have a patient who needs, for example, blood, in some of the smaller hospitals you have to call and order for this blood and everything. This big hospital I used to work at, you just have to do everything through the computer. You send it through the computer and the blood comes through. They have these things. It's kind of transported in a small, I don't know how you call it, yeah, it comes by itself, and I think that's very, very smart. We have everything. I know some of the Danish nurses who have gone to like Africa, to Uganda, at least to in Denmark you can go abroad as a nurse for some during the study. They were complaining how they didn't have, like, they were telling them they need their own gloves. You know, you have to have your own gloves, you have to have your own, like they said, how patients were there and they didn't have the things they needed. The nurses, they didn't have the things they needed in order to take care of the patient. So here in Denmark, we have everything, you know. I saw one lady, I don't know where she was from, she was saying, oh, what is in my bag? And she was saying, oh, these are my gloves and this is my surgical thing. I'm like, okay, we have everything, you know. You just take your bag, your lunch, and your pass. Everything is there at the hospital. So that's one of the things I love about. I don't think I could work like a nurse in Uganda. Because it's just too painful not to be able to do what you want to do. Yeah, I take off my hat for the nurses in Africa and other third world countries. And another thing is the salary is so good here, guys. I think Denmark is in the top 10, at least. Nurses who are paid very well in Denmark. In the world, I cannot go deep in how much we earn because it's also different. But I think even the beginner salary is very okay. But I think it's like people say, there is not enough money you can pay in us, and I think we are still fighting to get paid very well for what we do. We have so much responsibility, and we feel like we don't get paid enough. But still, in Denmark, the salary is better than many other countries. All right, and I think also it depends on like what you specialize in, and it depends, are you in a surgical unit or are you in a medical unit? Like I was in a medical unit. That means they give us I don't know, like what's that called? I'll find the word. They give some extra money because this is very these people are very, very sick and it's very complicated, you know. And I think if you have a specialty like your diabetes nurse or your wound nurse, is that called, then of course you get some little bit more, but still we get very well paid. And another thing I have to say, like in the hospital, if you're working in the hospital goes 8 years. You have to work for 8 years before you go up in salary. All right, but in the community you only have to work 4 years. So when I left the hospital, I'll make a video about why I left the hospital. When I was in the hospital, I was earning less, and then when I moved to the commune, working in a rehabilitating place, I went up because in the community only 4 years, so I'm earning more money than I was earning in the hospital, and I'm actually working less. Like the work is not so stressful as it is in the hospital, guys. I'll make a video about that. So the paying is really, really good here in Denmark. And I've just made a video about how to become a nurse in Denmark. If you want to see that, I can put it up here. All right, and we have holidays. I think 5 weeks paid holidays, just like everybody else. We have our holidays, and you just have to wish for them at work. You have to wish when you want to have your holidays. Here during the summer, we always like our most bosses, they give us a sheet, and then you can choose from there which holidays you want to take. You want to take all 4, you want to take 3 or 2, just like that. So that's another good thing, that we have paid. Yes, and we have pension also, I think, but I guess that's for all countries, but actually I doubt it, but we have really, really good pension here in Denmark also. So, but guys, let me know how it is in your country, right? And we can only work 37 hours. Work only 37 hours, but of course, like all of you nurses know, we can never work 37 hours. I work 32 hours, but sometimes it ended up like I even work like 40 hours, but we work 37 hours just like everybody else. Only in some units you can work 12 hours, like in the hospital, in the unit I was on. If you wanted to work every third week as a nurse, you had to work a 12-hour shift in order for you to work every third week. But here in the commune where I am, I can work every third week without I have to do this 12-hour shift, which is really, really nice. So it depends where you are. And also another thing I have to say, the salary depends on where you are. If you're living in the city, your salary is going to be higher because the living cost in the city, they are higher. And if you're living outside of the city, it's also going to be very different. All right, guys. And yes, I think another thing is like most units, they try to make sure that you only have 2 shifts, like day and night, or day and evening, so you don't have to be changing so much. But sometimes you can also require it when you're getting a job. Like I always say, I don't do night shifts. If they want to give a night shift, then I don't take the job. I only do day and evening. But most hospitals, they really try to make sure that you have only 2, because some people they like night shifts, some people they don't, so they try to do that. But there are also some units that are really, really busy and they cannot do that. Like, and I think in ICU, I think you have to have all 3. I wanted to be an ICU nurse, but I cannot work in the nighttime. So yes, so they try to do that, and they try to think a lot about the families and that. But like I said, in Denmark, we are suffering. All nurses are suffering, just like in other countries, because of the lack of nurses. All right. So, and I think another thing is like maybe in Denmark there's a big high demand of nurses, and it means like you can quit today and tomorrow you have a job. And I think it's just like that, I think, in all countries. I don't know like how it is in Uganda, honestly, but like here in Denmark, there has high demand of nurses. You can get a job anytime. Most of the time when I'm driving, when I've been working like a substitute, people are like, oh, Millie, come work for us. I even went to visit Jan's uncle. He had been operated and there was a black nurse. She was like, oh, if you want a job, come work for us. I said, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm not working in the hospitals anymore. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here, because we make good money, you can just quit today and the next day you don't have to worry, you have a job the next day. This is how it is working in Denmark, being a nurse in Denmark. I don't know, there's not so much I can say about that. Give me some questions in the comments and I can answer that. I hope you like the video, and share and like, and stay tuned for more videos like this. I do also a lot of blogging about my life in Denmark, if that's an interest for you. Subscribe, guys. All right, stay tuned for more videos. Take care for now. Bye.